All right, here we go again. I'm about to quote from another rock band. Sorry about this propensity of mine to do this, but Led Zeppelin released a song in the 70s that was titled, "It's Nobody's Fault But Mine." And I think the title is probably pretty much self-explanatory. But who really likes to admit when they're getting what they deserve, that they're actually just getting what they deserve? Rarely does a person want to admit that. Rather, we try to self-justify or we try to defend ourselves. But the truth is, we are given the ability by God to know what's coming when we do wrong or when we do right. And choosing the right path is possible so that we don't have to deal with difficult consequences to stupid choices. We call that using wisdom. And in the last part of chapter 1 of the book of Proverbs, wisdom talks and it reminds us that if we would just listen to her, then disaster would not overtake us. But then wisdom says something really mean after reminding us, if you would just listen to me, then you'll be in a good spot. Then she says something really mean, but quite funny, I suppose, if you're not the one that's involved or going through this. She says this in Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 25. She says, "Since you disregarded all my advice, and you do not accept my rebuke, I in turn will laugh when disaster strikes you. I will mock when calamity overtakes you. When calamity overtakes you like a storm and disaster sweeps over you like a whirlwind, when distress and trouble, they end up overwhelming you, then they will call to me, but I'm not going to answer, and they'll look for me, but they won't find me. Since they hated knowledge and they did not choose to fear the Lord, since they would not accept my advice and they spurned my rebuke, they'll eat the fruit of their ways and they'll be filled with the fruit of their schemes. For the waywardness of the simple will kill them, and the complacency of fools will destroy them." That's pretty rude, isn't it, of wisdom to say that to you or to anybody who decides to blow her off? Wisdom says that seeing as you shunned her for such a long period of time, and now you're getting what your deeds really deserve for such stupid ideas and actions, that when you go looking for her, apart from turning to Jesus Christ, she's going to avoid you. No wonders when people have dumb ideas and like you try to reason with them. Maybe even from the scriptures you try to reason with them, but you realize, it's like thick. I just can't get through that. It's because wisdom's avoiding them like the plague, so that they can get what they deserve. But man, I know it. I kind of hear that. I'm like, wow, that sounds really mean. But I suppose it isn't, because that person doesn't want wisdom anyhow. They would rather live in their delusional, angry, self-pitied state. But before we judge, how many of us have been in that spot from time to time, where we just didn't want wisdom? We didn't want to hear it. We didn't want to abide by it. We wouldn't want to live according to it. But I tell you this, here's the good news. There is hope. I mean, really great hope. Because Proverbs 1 verse 33 says this, "But," wisdom says, the next verse, "but whoever listens to me will live in safety and be at ease without fear of harm." Wisdom has the ability to do that for your mind. God's wisdom can make you feel safe inside of Him. God's wisdom can allow you to be at ease with your direction that you take and with the decisions that you make. And God's wisdom can cause you to stop fearing. He can control your mind and your actions. If you're not living in safety and you say, man, I'm not at ease most of the time, and you're regularly living in fear, quite frankly, you're just not living according to wisdom in other areas of your life. Following wisdom or practically living out what is right, because that's what wisdom is. It's just practically living out what is truth, what is knowledge, what is right. Doing that keeps you from having to be upset all the time. It keeps you from living in fear all the time. Those that are stuck there, upset and fearful, those that are stuck there are ignoring wisdom. Now that statement could either make you mad and say, why would you tell me I'm ignoring wisdom just because I'm living in fear all the time? It could either make you mad, or that statement could give you great encouragement, knowing that God is able to control fear if you would just choose to follow His way in your life. For me personally, I think I would rather say, hello, Jesus Christ, and goodbye, fear. Now I just need to make a concerted effort to seek out wisdom in all areas of my life, even when it's wisdom that I don't want to hear or I don't want to live according to. I really hope that you'll join me in being willing to seek out wisdom and live according to wisdom, so that we can kick fear and all those other things, lack of safety and concerns over that, we can kick them right out of our lives. I hope you'll join me in that. We'll see you soon.